The Garden Report is powered by PrizePicks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network.
The same way the Celtics, Jimmy, can only play the games in front of them, the games on their schedule, we can only talk about what we're seeing right now, which is the Celtics playing mid-basketball against shit teams, which doesn't answer a lot of questions or get you to really understand what they're going to be able to do. Well, the thing with them is there's actually moments of high-level stuff that you see like, oh, geez, look at that. And, oh, my God, are they dialed in right now? And you see it, and then you see just moments of like, oh, everyone can shoot threes, go ahead. You know, it's just bizarre. You're not going to play a perfect, clean game, but as to Sherrod's point, they should have stomped the lights out of these. I mean, every game here. So I don't know. It's,
you know what?
It's inconsistent.
We hold them and we have high expectations for this team because we have paid attention all year. We have watched every single regular season game. We know what they're capable of. I think the part of it that's causes us a little trepidation.
They've earned the right to have high
idiot.
Expectations.
Big word there, a little trepidation.
Big word, dummy.
Yeah. Don't ask me to spell it. Is Jimmy the fact that this is the playoffs. And you know what? When we see them get to this point, we've seen things take a turn for the worse at times. Not always, but at times. And so it's fair to wonder if deep down some of those issues are still there. They just haven't been exposed enough because the opposing team hasn't had enough talent to really make them pay for it. At some point, the thinking is that will change. You don't want to be caught with your pants down when it happens. You want to be playing solid basketball, good team basketball. That's kind of what it comes down to. I don't want to dump on the Celtics all night. They advanced the Eastern Conference Finals. There were some good things we saw tonight. Again, it's good to see Al Horford have that bounce back performance after, I mean, the chat wanted him to stay on the plane or to not get on the plane and stay in Cleveland. So he comes out and says, F you to the world and turns back the clock tonight. That's the type of performance that reminds you of what playoff basketball is all about. That performance doesn't happen in a regular season game, Sherrod. That's the difference. Guys stepping up in a time where they need to. The last couple of games, it was Tatum and Brown. Tonight, those guys, not really to that extent. You can go back to criticizing Tatum in certain situations, but he ended up close to a triple-double again. So, again, like the performance down the stretch from Tatum hitting that big three. So there was bits and pieces of the night where you can extrapolate, another big word, no big deal, and you can look at the positives of it. But in the same sense, you can look at the negatives. John's choosing to look at the negatives first. That doesn't mean he's not going to get to some positives at some point. They're there, but it's fair to say, hey,
we talked about
we have higher expectations. Yeah, we have higher expectations for this team. And if they play like this over a series against an opponent that is fully healthy and is in the NBA Finals, they can't expect to see the same results. They can't expect to see double digits. They can't expect to see a 4-1 series win because at that point, it's no joking around at that point. You're playing a team out west who has gone through the gauntlet to get to where they've gotten.
Testing my skills on PrizePicks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Use the code CLNS for the first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Unlike the Celtics.
Yeah, but
I agree. And Jimmy,
you want to see them play their best. I was just going to say, you want to see the best version of who they are. And we haven't seen that. And I think that's the thing where fans are a little bit like, yeah, we're excited they're in the conference finals, but whoa, we still haven't seen the best they have to offer. And the challenge that we all have is it a matter of the competition hasn't been that great, or is it because maybe they're just not as great a team as we think they are? I still have them winning an NBA Finals championship this year. I still think that's possible, even with all the questionable things that they've done. But they need to start really building off the momentum that we saw in this game and just being more consistent with their elite play and not just this meh stuff that we see way too much of.
You know what I think?
Again, yes, I want to know what you think.
Real quick, because I think I'm a little delayed and I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that they are playing to the opponent. Meaning, if they're going to play a banged up Cavs team, the level of play is going to match that to an extent. Not completely. They are still more talented, and that more than often is going to catapult them in the end. Same with the Heat. But if they end up playing a fully healthy Nuggets team or healthy, OKC or whoever, Mavs, whoever it ends up being, I guess I'm cautiously optimistic that they will match that level at that point. Like they need to see like a difficult opponent in order to ratchet it up a little bit. And I'm not saying it's right, but I feel like that's been kind of the MO with these guys on a number of occasions, is that they'll either play down to the opponent or they'll play up to the opponent. We see some great matchups. I remember the regular season matchups against the Timberwolves this year were great. We've seen some down performances against teams that have no business competing with the Celtics. So in the playoffs, typically you don't have that issue. Typically it's the cream in the crop, the best of the best. Everyone's, ratcheting up the intensity, but for whatever reason, it's to no fault of the Celtics. To be honest, credit to them. They put themselves in the position. They were the 1 seed. They played a banged up 8 seed. They dominated them. Then they played a banged up 4 seed. Had they not cruised through the regular season the way they did, maybe they don't have that luck. Maybe they are stuck playing, a Knicks or a Pacers team right now, and things are different. So you got to give them credit for that. But at the same time, I want to see them set the tone. I want to see teams trying to match their intensity, not the other way around.
Fair enough. And that's kind of the point, is like aggressive is better than passive all the time. The games you're losing was the ones where you're just allowing things to happen,
Right.
and just playing slow and letting the other team dictate pace, tempo, and what shots you're taking, and you're choosing what shots you're defending and playing percentages. And those don't necessarily, that's not going to work. You're going to face a team most likely in New York that brings it every single night and does something that's going to keep you on your toes, which is is just murderous on the glass. And they're going to be coming at you. And they've got an alpha who's going to be really difficult to stop. So and a team also that literally won't ever die. So it's hard to believe that even if, that you're going to be able to shake them without a complete effort. Like they're going to be there. And that's, again, something the Celtics haven't really
Tibbs
seen
team.
yet. So it's a Tibbs team. It's Tibbs team. So we'll see. But again, I mean, Pacers, I guess, are still there. We're not on it yet. And, for those people who don't like the tone of the way this started, again, from the beginning of the season, we've talked about the same exact thing. There's literally nothing but a championship that's acceptable here. I guess if you want to say a trip to the finals, because everyone thinks Denver's this big bogeyman that they can't beat anymore after realizing that Jokic is indeed amazing. Like after watching a couple of games, yeah, Denver's great. Can the Celtics' best game beat Denver? Yes, it can. Is it a failure? No. I mean, if they go to the finals, get absolutely smoked and outclassed, you'll be like, whoa, geez, they're further than you thought. But a finals trip is absolutely what was expected with this team. So again, every judgment you make on this team isn't how did you play against the Cavs today, is would this shit fly against Denver. That's all we've been talking about for like 50 games now. That's what the season is. That's really all that matters. Right. Yeah.
Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS and get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
Hey, Bowie Manning here. If you made it this far, you probably enjoyed this video, so subscribe, turn on notifications, and check out our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS